Peace, power, and prosperity. Learn to set boundaries in your relationships with other people. These are intimate and people that you associate with on a daily basis. You see, some of us have parents that, weren't the best. Some of us have parents that are great. But the ones that weren't the best, or the other family members that we grew up with, aunties, uncles, grandmas, right? The one thing's for sure, two things for certain. There are things that they didn't understand about us. There's things that they didn't really grasp or comprehend or really, know the value of your soul in some cases, what you could bring to the table, so to speak. Now that we are adults, we have the opportunity to regulate how other people treat us. Whereas in childhood, maybe we didn't have those same opportunities because we were so quote unquote trapped in a situation where, where you're going to go. You're going to run away and leave your parents' house and go where, right? So you were trapped in that situation. You weren't able to speak up for yourself. You weren't able to tell someone how to love you. You weren't able to tell someone what you will take and what you won't take. You weren't able to tell someone this doesn't feel right, or I don't like this, or I don't want you to talk to me this way, or I don't want you to say this about me, or I won't accept this, or just a simple no to a situation. And one of the ways to do this also is you first have to love yourself, and you have to learn how to love yourself, and you have to fully fall in love with yourself. This means your likes. This means you have to know your dislikes. This means you have to embrace whatever brings you joy, even if it's weird, even if it's out the box, even if it's not something that the masses or the mainstream does. Because if you don't know yourself, if you don't know thyself, if you don't love thyself, then you can't expect someone to know how to love you. You can't expect someone to know how to treat you. You can't expect someone to know how to speak to you and how to handle you if you don't know how to treat and handle and love on yourself. A lot of you are assuming that the people that you are in relationships with, or you get into relationships with, intimate or socially or otherwise, automatically know how to treat you, automatically know what you dislike and like, just because they look good, just because you share a laugh with them, just because they're friendly, just because they make you feel comfortable. This doesn't mean that they know exactly what you like, what you dislike, and what your boundaries are. You have the ability of setting these things up for yourself. So learn to set boundaries in your relationships. Don't be scared to do so. Don't be scared to speak up. Be courageous. Be bold. And remember, if you had a childhood where you couldn't speak up for yourself, where you couldn't establish boundaries with your parents or your caretakers, where you couldn't let people know what they could do and what they couldn't do, how they could, or if they can even play with you in certain ways, right? Only you know that for yourself. So now as an adult, you have the opportunity to use your voice, to speak from your throat chakra and express what you want and what you don't want. So let's learn how to set boundaries as we move forward in this year and in this time period, and know and understand fully what it means to love self. And a lot of times this takes solitude. All right. You can't get this in the company of others or around other people. You need some solitude so they could really do some deep soul searching and understand what it is to love you. What does it look like when you're fully in love with everything about you? All right. Peace, power, and prosperity.